a friend that won't let go. He's creeping up on me now once again. So I sing a song tonight to the ghost that will not die. It somehow seems to haunt me till the end.
Hey guys, it's Jody, and we're back on another night doing the Whiskey Rebellion Barcast. I'm your commissioner. These are all my guys and ladies and gals, I should say. And we got an exciting show tonight. We're going to do, it's exciting to me. Jay has given me kind of the browbeating saying that, I'm not really, that's not my jam. I'm just playing. He never said anything at all. But it's a bottle and bond night. And I am super excited to have this discussion because I personally love the bottle and bonds. And the reason why is because you can generally find them when you're trying to build relationships at any place that's out there. So haven't poured my drink yet because I want to talk about it. But guys, cheers. Welcome to the show. Everybody can come off mute. Rob.
Cheers, people.
Hey.
Almost slipped there. Whoops.
Yeah.
I think before we go into the drink, maybe we ought to talk about the history. Jay, what do you think?
Sure, go ahead.
You're gonna put it all on me. All right.
You said you put it so eloquently earlier, so go right ahead.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. That's very humbling from probably the grand master of our bourbon society here. Anyhow, which we're not a society either. But anyway, 1897. That's when. And so there's a lot of history it goes into bottle and bond. Bottle and bond is exciting. The reason why is because prior to the whole 1897 Bottle and Bond Act, which surprisingly enough was characterized as a lot like the ACA. That people hated it when it first came out, and it was the protection of providing actual spirits that were regulated by the government that met the quality and criteria. Now, for it to be bottled in bond, well, let me go back. Prior to that, again, people were cutting it with whether it was with turpentine or juices or even tobacco spit to give it the color. That's what they were cutting it with and selling it. And medical practices and stuff were using whiskey. And so them with Colonel Taylor, and I think it was actually Commodore Taylor that actually initially initiated this whole process of going with to Congress and getting everything going with the Bottle and Bond Act, was one of the pioneers for it. So for something to be bottled in bond, and when I say something, it can be any spirit, believe it or not, from the United States, but it has to be in a government storage warehouse or a government-controlled bonded warehouse. It has to be a minimum of 4 years old. Has to have all of the DSP information on the back, which is nothing more than your distilled spirits plant, and that gives you the exact location of where that bottle or barrel in this case came from, all the way down to the person that actually master distilled it. Has to be 100 proof when it goes into the barrel or coming out of the barrel. Jay? Yeah, okay. So it has to be in this bottle, it has to be 100 proof. So
Yeah, they'll proof it down to 100.
yeah, right. And it can only be can only have clear water that can be the clearest form of water to cut it. That was one of the things that was said that I was reading about. And let me see if I missed anything. Oh yeah. It has to be a single plant, and it has to be a single distillation season. So it has to be that. And there can be two of them, because I think it goes from from June to January, January to May, I guess, whatever. But there are two cycles. Yeah. So they have two different cycles that they can do it in. But there you go. That's pretty much the quick and nasty type of history on it. I will tell you that I had a hard time picking which ones I'm going to have here. So I have 4 up here today, because I wanted to go with kind of one you can't generally find, and the rest of them are readily available. But I want to go with kind of lower cost ones, because that's what I like best about it. You can go into pretty much any liquor store, and let's say you're trying to build relationships and they have nothing there, Rob. Never fails. They have nothing there that you want, but they'll always have a bottled in bond. You could pick that up, and it's always going to meet a certain expectation for that specific distilling company, in my opinion. All right, so the one you can't hardly find that is probably one of my favorites is Heaven Hill, and this is the 6 year. Sorry, and this is green label. I think this is discontinued, right, Jay?
It's white label. Yep.
White label.
I'm sorry, green writing, white.
Just not to confuse folks, because there is a
The green
green
is only in
label
Kentucky.
that's non-age stated, right? So
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I
The
know. which
green
one
is
you're
only
talking about.
available in Kentucky, correct?
No, I've seen it here. I've seen
Oh,
the
really?
yeah. They try to, and then I have Old Granddad, which is really cost efficient. Nice
Yes, it
price
is.
point on it. 100 proof as well. This has got a higher, in my opinion, higher rye content in it. We can definitely talk mash bills here shortly. Evan Williams, this one right here. I love this one, and what's cool about it is the price point on this one, and you get no nasty aftertaste. Love that. Now, one that has a little bit of an aftertaste, but just to show you, they have them in Tennessee as well. Same with the Leaper's Fork bottled and bond, which has apparently right there in Leaper's Fork, they have a government regulated warehouse, which I can't wait to go look at because I was reading the bottle on the DSP number. But anyway, is George Dickel bottled and bond. This one does, in my opinion, leaves an aftertaste. Guys, welcome to the show. I'm gonna pour a little bit of Heaven's Hill. What's that?
A little trickle in the throat of the George Dickel.
Always got to have
The-
that Jack.
The Dickel trickle. The Dickel trickle.
Hey now.
Down
We
the
went
throat.
down.
Oh, my.
Get the little punching bag thing in the back of your throat.
Hey, Billy, check our rating, man. Check the rating, Billy.
Are we back on HBO now?
We are,
just-
and
This,
And the
this
FCC
would
just
do,
texted
but
me.
a pound, fist pound.
okay, so now we just got a warning from the FCC with that one, and thank you.
All right, let's get back on
Fist
track
pound.
here. Let's get back on track.
Let's go.
Jay.
Well,
Let's go straight to Jay. He'll slow us down. What are you drinking? And then we're gonna come back. I want you to go ahead and ask your next question that you have, because you asked some interesting questions in the chat today, the VIP chat. If you're not part of it, you need to be part of it. Go ahead, Jay.
So I am sipping some
Old
old Fitzgerald bottled and bond. It's
16, yeah.
Yeah. It's a bottle that's only available at the distillery. I was actually lucky enough to have a friend bring it to me. It's very good. So it's a high wheat mash bill. So it's so my thing is wheat. I love the wheaters. So it's really nice. But I also brought to the table a couple that, like you said, are a little easier to find. So you got your Old Forester bottled and bond. And then since we were talking about the Dickel Trickle, we've got the Dickel bottled and bond.
Can't find that in PA.
Love the Dickel bottled and bond. That's a lady master distiller who actually
Yes.
put this one together. So that intrigues me, makes it even better, I think. 'Cause,
Oh,
I
a
like
lady trickle.
that's it. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Before we go there, let's just don't. Okay.
don't
He's
White
trickling
Claws have the same effect?
Hey,
Hey.
Jay, let me ask you a question. When it comes to I mean, I would tell you to take Old Fitzgerald out of it, because that's definitely have a different taste for our average consumer that may not be out there to get it, because you have to go to the actual facility to pick it up, distillery, and it's a 16-year heavy wheat.
Oh wow.
Do you find yourself picking up bottle and bond over something else, or is it just the name, the price point, or are there other bottles that you prefer? It could be around the same price point as a minus Old Fitzgerald, that would be somewhere in that price point that you would prefer over a bottled and bond.
No is the short answer.
Up the other day.
So, bottled and bond is kind of it's a dead thing. It's really a gimmick at this point. It doesn't mean the same things that it used to. So it's kind of just a gimmicky label thing. About the only thing bottled and bond proves to you today is, you're getting 100 proof. That's about it. It doesn't equate to additional quality. I don't feel like the government controls are great. I think small batch guys and little distilleries do a really good job of managing their supplies. So all that other jazz about it being distilled in one distilling season, none of that means really anything. So it's just kind of a gimmicky, labely thing. So for me, I've had enough bottled and bonds that it doesn't mean diddly to me, and the reason is there's so many good lower proof things out there, and so many good higher proof things out there. So it really, unless it's just a jazzy cool bottle and a really nifty label, it doesn't sway me one way or another.
Outside of Old Forester, do you have a favorite?
I do not.
Not Old Forester.
No.
I'm sorry, Old Fitzgerald. Apologize.
No, and that's not even my favorite.
Oh,
I just hauled out a few that I have that are bottled and bond. I tend to stick them in the back, right? Because I'm a high proof guy.
Right.
I prefer higher proof stuff. I don't really like lower proof stuff. So I just
Well, now
thought
to
that
be
was
friendly to some of our viewers, this is much higher proof than entry level, which would be like the Basil Haydens and stuff like that are around 80 proof.
Yeah, but I mean, still, that's not terribly different. You're just talking about 20 proof difference. So if you start to develop a palate and you kind of decide like I did that you want to go higher and higher in proof, then bottled and bond is a nice step up from your traditional off the shelf regular offerings that a lot of these guys put out. Jack Daniels, Jim Beam, Wild Turkey, all those guys. If you want to step up to a little bit of a higher proof without going off the deep end to 120 or something higher, it's a good place to go. But again, you're just talking about the label smack of it's 100 proof. That's pretty much all you're getting out of bottled and bond these days.
Right. Okay, Jonathan.
So tonight, I figured I'd crack open the E.H. Taylor, their straight rye, bottled and bond.
I was going to do that one
since a little before Christmas, so figured I'd bust it back out tonight. Bottled and bond is actually kind of how I started, kind of building, not necessarily my collection, but kind of what I've been stocking once Ashley and I moved into Fairview. So I started getting into the bottle and bond just because of the history behind it. Wasn't because of the quality of the bourbon that was in the bottle, just mainly the history behind it. Now, since joining this group and kind of branching out and trying new things, some of my buddies that have come over, if they're like, Woodford guy or Maker's guy, they have kind of their go-to, and they haven't really had a higher proof bourbon. I'll usually pour them a bottled and bond at 100 proof, just to give them something different, and that seems to go pretty well. But that's kind of, I credit bottle and bond as, how I branched out.
Nice. Mark.
What's up, brothers and sister? So
What's up?
I have a bunch of bottled and bond bottles. I don't know where they are right now. I can't find them. They're here. I have Old Granddad, and I have the Dickel. I have not opened it, but I do have one. So I can't get tickled because I don't know where the bottle is. That speaks to a ever-growing collection. So what I am able to put my hands on are my two favorite bottled and bonds. Early Times.
I was going to mention that because you always have Early Times. So
Which is $20. Can't beat that. And probably my favorite, slightly over Early Times, is the Heaven Hill.
Yes. I have that one.
That one's delicious.
Billy, yeah, hooked me up with that, and I have that one as well. And I was going to use that one and the Colonel Taylor tonight as my go-tos.
Okay.
I haven't had too many times with Jay on here where I've had the opportunity to showcase one of the two bottles he got me. So that's the reason why I went with the Heaven Hill. So white label.
This bottle is hard to get though.
It is.
God, it's hard. Rob, I got you one, right, Rob?
Yes, you did.
Man, this thing is hard. Even when I'm home in Atlanta, I can find them on occasion. And then they disappear for 6 months. The weirdest thing.
I don't know if I've ever seen one in Tennessee.
I haven't.
I haven't either.
It doesn't exist here in Arizona.
Haven't
Well,
seen it.
I can tell you guys this. I have no idea what's going on in this beautiful earth, but I can walk into the same store where I get all my other stuff and get Heaven Hill. I've sent out 3 bottles of it.
Okay, good to know.
Florida, here I come.
Yes.
Or you can just
Wait,
have a
3
box
bottles
of
of what?
not free, but get
No.
bottles of.
Three.
3.
This one.
I mean, I got 1 unopened. I got this one, and I've sent out 3 myself to
Yeah.
different people.
So my husband's on the show because of you, Billy.
Oh yeah.
Yes, he is.
So he likes tall, dark, and handsome.
Ah,
Did all 3.
No, he's all about. So when I was saying that he likes to cook, I was like, dude, you got to come on here.
Oh, this is a good time to plug his YouTube channel too. Billy has a YouTube channel called Cafe 305, and Be Good to Yourself. And you can look at him either way, find it either way on that. And it's on YouTube. He
Yeah.
puts, and he's also on our page as well. Plus, he also has a Facebook page called Cafe 305, or is that what it's called? Is it called
Be Good to Yourself?
Be Good to Yourself? That's right. And you can get there. Then he also has a website that is cafe305.com, because I was like, wow, that is so professional. So
Cafe 305 BBQ.com.
it is, yeah. So if you put in Cafe 305, you're going to find it right away. It's the first one popped up. So, all right.
So I guess I'll jump in next.
Okay.
It's funny that you guys talk about the bottle and bonded, because the Cafe 305 bourbon inspired barbecue sauce kind of hit a bump in the road, if you will. I was gonna put bottle and bonded on the label, and the FDA was like, no, you can try something else. You can use another kind of wording, but I could not use bottle and bonded. I could use
Could have been
truth.
bottled and bonded.
Yeah, I could use something along the lines of truly bottled or something like that. But the term
You could
bottle and
put
bonded,
you could put estate bonded. That's what a lot of other people, to include Willett. I know that Old Bardstown has an estates bonded and stuff of that nature. And you could do that, do an estates bonded. That would work.
I've entered a couple of things, and once I do that, the labels will be printed. But of course, I have the Heaven Hill, which is going to be my next bottle kill. But I'm actually doing the bottle kill on Horse Soldier.
That is Horse Soldier. Okay.
So
I
he is
personally like
officially-
Horse Soldier. It's my favorite military drink.
Why?
Well, their silver, I think it's their silver, it is their silver label, actually takes me back to my grandfather's diesel mechanic shop. When I know that sounds crazy, but it takes me back to when I was a kid. And when I pour it and then I'm getting ready to drink it, or even when I do have a sip of it and have that aftertaste, it takes me back to when I was a kid hanging out with my grandfather doing, turning bolts in the diesel shop. It has that smell that resonates, but it's a very smooth, in my opinion, it's a very smooth bourbon. It's has great aftertaste to it. Has all of the notes that you would normally expect in a good bourbon.
Mhm.
It's not as old. I think it's relatively young. I could be wrong, but most of your military bourbons are relatively really young, and some of them just come out with this, unless it's a rye. I will say, let me preface it differently. Some of the military ryes that I've had have been like 10th Mountain and stuff like that. They've been pretty decent, the ryes. However, the bourbons or the straight bourbons they have just taste really weak. Like they don't have any thump or actual qualities to what I enjoy about drinking bourbon. That is sitting there and being able to taste the different expressions that are with it, have a conversation about it, to be able to articulate what I'm seeing or feeling or what the tastes are and stuff like that. And then the story of the Horse Soldiers, I like that as well.
Yeah,
So
and I'm
hopefully that
actually
answers your question.
I'm getting a real nice vanilla kind of pecan off of it. This is a good one. Also, if anybody's looking for, there's two different ones. If anybody's looking for it and they can't find it, again, it's another one you can walk into any liquor store here in
Florida,
Miami.
all over
And
Florida.
It's everywhere.
Every time I go down to my mother's beach house down in Florida, I pick up a full supply of Or Soldier, all three bottles.
So
okay. Hey Billy, what's the price range on those?
79, about right?
How much?
79, 69, something like that.
No, not even. I
Well,
think 35 and 40.
Okay, well, in the Panhandle, it's definitely different. It's much higher than that in the Panhandle.
Yeah. Well, you guys got to remember too, I don't know where you guys are in your prospective states. We don't have alcohol and tobacco tax like a lot of the states up north. So it's not controlled like the ABCs up there and all that. So it could vary from store to store, but it's usually within $5, really no more than that. But, you know, same thing with cigars. It's usually a couple of bucks in between different stores. But there's no alcohol and tobacco tax here in Florida. They tried it once, and I think literally they almost hung the person who wanted to do it. So that's never going to happen. And like a lot of other states, well, not a lot, but we also don't pay state tax here.
Yeah, same.
You know, so
nice.
A lot of athletes actually declare Florida as their residence, so they don't pay those taxes.
Same in Tennessee. They do the same thing in Tennessee as well. All right, Jack, what we got over there?
Well, you know me, I don't like to open anything, so this one won't be opened anytime soon. So we'll just put that one back. But I did have an open E.H. Taylor single barrel, so I'm doing that one right now. I have a handful of small batch and a couple of rye, 3 bottles of rye, 6 bottles of small batch, and 2 single barrels. So
and a partridge in a pear tree.
And then some.
And this is so the 1792 you had back there, that was the bottle and bond, right?
Correct.
Okay, yeah. I just didn't know if you were showing it to us for aesthetic purposes or what. But yes, it's I already knew the answer to that because it has the yellow tag. I just want to make sure our audience knew that.
Can they not see it when I hold it up to the camera?
I saw it.
I did not see it. There you go.
Well, I can't show my computer screen. There might be something you don't want to see on there.
Oh,
shit.
Not if it's clear.
2 live crew, man. 2 live crew.
Little dickle trickle.
All right, so Annie,
So
I know
your
you,
coat, guys.
Annie, I know you're having princess water. Is your husband drinking
Yeah.
a masculine bottled and bond drink?
Ouch.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's some redemption. It's okay.
Bullet.
He's forcing me to drink it. I don't want to, but
She's trying to drink it out of the bottle.
Oh,
I made her pour it in a glass.
Such civilized. You see how civilized he is?
I try.
Last time on the show, that was exactly what she was doing. She was sitting here with the bottle just like this, and every time it was.
I forget
So
a
you
cup.
have to pour it into a glass, Annie.
She's like that. Which brought up the question is, so why you chugging? And she's like, I don't have a glass.
I'm just tasting.
She's
But it's so
hey,
true. I mean,
she's
it's
representing your
true.
family well, Josh.
Yeah. I didn't know what she was doing up here.
You're like, I'm watching the kids.
Right.
Speaking of which, who's watching the kids?
TV.
Yeah.
We have like
Little screen time.
14,000 cameras around our house,
We're not watching them.
so we can watch them and
They're
lock our door.
fine.
Yeah.
They're downstairs watching Nature Cat.
I don't know what that is, but it
I
sounds
don't know
awesome.
what that is.
You don't
Neither
need
do
to.
I. Yeah,
Nature
don't-
Cat?
You don't need to.
I don't even know what that is.
Is that animated?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's 7 and 4, so
Oh,
Oh,
gotcha.
okay.
yeah,
Okay,
that's
still-
all we get to watch.
That's at the fun age still.
No, they're great.
Yeah, it's a great fun age.
That's why she chugs it out of the bottle.
It's surprised you don't have one of those nipples on that like you do with like you just got out of with the other children.
Oh, What does that mean?
Later and reword it.
Yeah.
I just heard
I-
nipple.
I'm sipping. I'm sipping right now.
So what do those look like on the bottles? Do you have a picture?
We don't have a sensor
Is
logo to
is
go
that what
over.
Jody does? Jody slaps a nipple on one of his bourbon bottles and he just sits in his chair nursing it.
I just sit there and I nurse it,
Oh man.
which was a great movie if you guys haven't seen it, where I just got that from. So
I'm gonna have to disassociate myself from you guys if I ever want to be successful.
Hold on. So what you said?
Hey.
So the nipple movie is a great movie.
no, it's Meet the Parents.
Oh, sorry.
When he's saying there, he's talking about the cat, and he goes, "I just milked it." He's like,
The teeth.
little teeth.
Yeah.
Meet the
I got you. Dude, I got
Yeah,
you.
the Meet the Fuckers. Yeah, that's what it is. I thought it was
Yeah.
Meet the Parents was the first.
Got you. I got you
Yeah.
now.
Josh found my teats. He milks the little teeth.
I wasn't. That's
All
not
9
even what
of
I.
them.
Oh no, that's not what I was referring to at all. I was talking about like if you took a baby bottle and you took the little nipple off of it and put it on. Forget it. It's not even worth it. I can edit all this part out.
Just stop
Don't you
watching
dare.
that, man.
Don't you dare.
So anyway,
Put it on
so-
our OnlyFans page.
oh my God, we can't have a show ever without somebody saying OnlyFans. It's usually John, the other John.
Which one of y'all have a site?
That's funny. That's how we met Annie. And Jay's like, well, I'm ready to be done.
Hey, as long as y'all are paying for it.
Oh my gosh. So look, are we going to meet up in person for real?
Drink my Kentucky Mule.
Yeah,
We'll be
that's a fabulous question. I had posted the other day and was trying to see what I did get some love from both Thomas and Jay and I think David.
And me.
Okay.
And all
but-
9 of my teats.
Oh my God.
9, an uneven number.
6.
Oh Lord.
I was
X-Men are
pre-bed.
crawling.
I should know
They're
this.
looking for
I
a new
but I
mutant.
don't.
They're laid in like a row of threes.
In threes.
But is it? Anyway.
It's like a dice.
It's a die. It's a die. Yeah, it's a die. That nine teat die. Anyway, wow. So this is just gonna be straight up on HBO. So I don't even know where I was going with this. Thank you.
In other news, anybody purchasing sauce for the month of January, you will either receive a free bottle of the brand new Cafe 305 steak sauce or the brand new Cafe 305 honey buffalo sauce.
Not sure which one I got, but I just purchased less than 5 minutes before the show.
Thanks, man.
It's sitting in
We're
the car.
on it.
The honey buffalo sauce is delicious. I sampled it out first.
I
Early
sampled
on.
everything, and I love all of it. And what's bad is we have mutiny here at the house. We have we order from box all the time. So prior to meeting Billy, we had like this stockpile of a barbecue sauce, that and toilet paper. You gotta have both. So anyhow, and ammunition. And so now I still have this ginormous stockpile of barbecue sauce because no one will touch it because the only thing they want is Cafe 305, the OG. And it's like, oh Lord. And so what did we just order like last month? And I've been through all 3 of those bottles already. And they're not like these little bitty dainty sized bottles. They're like good industrial sized bottles.
Yep.
So fantastic. Fantastic.
Vaseline.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. How does Vaseline have anything to do with this conversation?
And it's funny you say that, Jody, because
I'm scared.
literally I've had people in my neighborhood throw away their barbecue sauce, full unopened bottles, because they're like, nobody in my house will eat it.
Yeah.
It's literally been all my neighbors. I mean, I kid you not, you can go in any direction from my house, knock on any door, and I promise you they'll have my sauce in their house.
That brings up another important aspect that's non-bourbon related, but I did call Billy prior to the show to ask for a pro tip on grilling steak. And I will tell you that fantastic outcome. I because a little hesitant about what we both thought was going to be medium, I did take it 7 minutes on each side, but only had to flip it twice. Boom, 14 minutes on the plate. Let it breathe. Served it up. About 2 inches of steak. Fantastic. I would have preferred it a little bit like at the 6 minutes on each side, but I was cooking for 2. So it is what it is. Boss lady.
Yeah.
I always pull mine off early and set it aside because
Let it rest.
mine likes it with very little to almost no pink. So I can't do that.
Yeah, that's how mine likes it too. She likes it very little to almost no pink. And I like to have some, I like to know that mine was once alive.
Yes.
Can I say it? Oh, no.
I don't know. Look at Jay before you ask me a question.
All right, I will keep my. Never mind.
How much pink was in it?
Hey,
So
I like pink in the, I like pink in the middle of my meat. I mean my steaks. Excuse me.
So
See, I told you
basically,
that's the reason why I said ask Jay.
I gave him a little pro tip using his hand as to find the firmness.
oh yeah.
Love
as
that.
to what he wanted to look for. And
Wait,
I'm
what?
sure when I was telling it to him, he thought I was crazy.
I did.
No, it's the absolute truth.
So,
He said
and
make a fist, and then this little part right here.
So not this kind of a fist.
Nobody makes a fist like that but you. Anyway, and you fill this, and that's where you want to get find out the tenderness of it, and that would be medium, right? If it had that much spring on it.
There's multiple different tricks to doing that.
Right. Yeah. You
Yeah.
do so that's the. Yeah.
That changes the tenderness of what's
Oh
going
yeah, I never heard of that one before. That is good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I work out all the
I-
time, so mine are really tight.
See, I didn't want to give him all of that, Rob, because he would have been standing there at the grill trying to figure out what the hell I was talking about. So I'm glad he's now educated.
educated.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, you guys. I don't know why I do this to myself. Anyhow,
Hey, listen,
so-
I did teach culinary school for 2 years, so.
hey, you did it over the phone without video, and it was fantastic. So, I'm down with it. Hey, so let's kind of move away from that subject. I want to revisit one of the things that Jay had brought up, and that was, is there something you would like if you've seen? It would be hard for me to pass up Heaven Hill white label, but let's just say you've seen Heaven Hill blue label like everybody else has seen. That's 7-year, I believe. Excuse me, on the shelf, and there might have been something else that has your attention, and they're roughly the same price. Do you typically go to something else that might also be there, or would the bottle and bond be enough to entice you to purchase it? And I meant to ask, I didn't go to Rob, but for Rob, can you answer both those questions? What you're drinking and also what I just said.
It's all right, man. So, as I found out about this afternoon or late yesterday, we were going to do bottled and bond, and I am on the road. The only thing I could really find on the shelves here in Ohio that was bottled and bond was the Evan Williams white label, which to me it was $15.99 a bottle. If you're looking for just a good basic strong bourbon to just keep on the shelf and use as a daily drinker, it's awesome. Tonight I happen to be doing Kentucky Mules. So I got a little diet ginger beer for myself, mixing it up, and that's what I'm doing. There are certain brands that I do prefer in bottled and bond. I do like the Old Forester, the 1897 bottled and bond, which I really do like the Old Forester label. They've got a lot of great stuff. I picked up an old Statesman tonight as well. That was kind of my welcome to the Old Forester line. I do have most of those expressions at home. I do have Rittenhouse Rye, which is another good budget rye that's bottled and bond.
Yes.
I think it's $17 or $18.99 a bottle in Ohio and PA.
That's a
Yes,
Heaven
it's
Hill
right
product
here.
too, right?
Yes, the Heaven Hill
Yeah.
product. It's the same here.
Yeah.
It's like $19. Yeah.
And they're great for doing mixed drinks with.
Yeah.
Old Overholt makes a great bottled and bond that I know a lot of bartenders who that's what they use for cocktails.
I
The Old
think
Overholt Rye bottled and bond.
I think the Rittenhouse was actually made specifically for mixing drinks in the history of it. I really do believe that's the reason why it was it came to fruition, and then ultimately I think it was with bartenders long before it actually became out to the public. I think that was
Rittenhouse is a throwback to Rittenhouse Square in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Where rye has a very big history in Pennsylvania and distilling.
it's where the Whiskey Rebellion initiated from.
About 15 minutes from my house.
Nice.
So, yeah, but I'm not gonna say I go out and necessarily hunt for bottled and bond, but I do go out, and if I see something that's interesting, I will purchase a bottled and bond. Yeah, because I like the kitschiness of it, I guess.
So Rob actually brought up an interesting aspect, component that I would like to further evaluate or discuss, and that is, would you, and this might be a great transition straight to Jay on this, would you find that if you were mixing something, you would prefer a bottle and bond over one of your other contemporary drinks that you might enjoy, bourbons or whatever, straights?
For me, no.
I'm asking Jay on that one first.
So yes, because with a mixed drink that's going to be watering down your spirit, whatever it is, you definitely want to go with a higher proof. So yeah, I would take a bottled and bond to go into my mixed drink more so than just your regular lower proof stuff.
What
But
about over a blend?
Only for the proof. What about for the what?
Like a blend. Like, for example, both of us had, what was that, the Mattingly the other day? That's a high proof, or Backbone is a high proof.
Yep.
Would you take a bottle and bond over that to mix your mixed drink because of the consistency versus the different flavors?
Nope.
Okay, that's a fair answer.
No, for me, so blends for me, and your bottled and bond is not a single barrel product. It's going to be a blend too. So you're still talking about two blends. But I'm going to go with the highest proof I can get my hands on, because in my experience, the higher the proof, not always true, but for the most part, the higher the proof, the more layers and a flavor and depth you get out of it. Usually higher proof means it's not watered down. It came out of the barrel. That's what you got. So for me, no, I would definitely go with the higher proof stuff like the Mattingly over a bottled and bond in that situation.
Got it. Hey, Jack, with the use of clear ice and bottled and bond, I want to get your dissertation product in here. All right. So, well, I think you're on mute right now. Potentially, I couldn't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
He's fighting fire.
Just want to make sure I'm here and you can hear me.
What?
We got you, brother.
Hello? Check. 1, 2.
I did not hear you.
Gotta wake this crowd up. They're sleeping over here. All right. What do you want from me? You want some clear ice? I got some clear ice.
I was just going to ask: is there a specific preference of a bottled and bond spirit that you would prefer with your clear ice? Like, have you seen better? It sounds so crazy, but have you seen a better results or had better taste profiles with your clear ice with a specific bottled and bond?
That's interesting.
I have the palate of a 4-year-old, so
I don't believe that at all.
No, I also have the mentality of one as well, but
I believe that.
But it depends. Like, so when I drink it, I kind of drink any of these bottles that I have that I do drink anyway. It depends on what kind of mood I'm in. I don't necessarily mix any of my big bottled and bond or the heavier proofed stuff. I don't because that flavor is really complex. So I do want to try to pick up some of that, some of the burn, some of the heat, some of the sweet, some of whatever it is. And so sometimes just straight neat is fine with me. But when I mix in the ice, it's because I want to kind of be more relaxed and kind of enjoying. Maybe in the neats, I drink slower than I would drink something that's chilled, and then also something that's mixed. Like last night, I was doing ginger ale and Buffalo Trace, but then I switched it over to ginger ale and the Stranahans. Both of these are under 90 proof, give or take. I don't even know what this one is actually. 43. So yeah. So and because I don't want to really kind of muddle down the flavor of the higher proof with mixing it or with ice, unless, like I said, unless I want that middle ground where I really kind of just want to sit back and enjoy it, drink a little bit quick, just kind of get off of the day quicker than not, if you know what I mean.
I do. Jonathan. Well, you haven't heard my question yet.
Oh, go ahead.
So you're relatively new to it, and you said, hey, look, I got into it, the bottled and bond. And I still hold your list that you had sent to all of us saying, hey, look, this is what I'm looking for. You find it. And of course, I think I hooked you up with Old Bardstown off that list. And you were like, this is what I want, whatever. Are those still your like the ones you're in search of, or now that you've been part of the show and becoming more versed and seeing more of the trying different spirits and stuff, are those still your top ones? Or have you moved away from the bottled and bond list that you sent? I mean, almost everything you sent on that list was bottled and bond.
So I actually created that list on a very thorough Google search of just what's popular, what's the most popular leaders, what's the most popular hot rise, what are the most popular bottled and bonds, and that's actually what I just created that list, and that's kind of what I started on when I started stocking up this room when we first moved. So I just use that as kind of a running list to shop from.
So you created that list when you were new to bourbon.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, new to like trying different things. I think prior to really, I didn't really branch out much. I was very much, anything Woodford, anything Makers, Old Forester. I had my lanes that I stayed in. Baldwin and Bond was just kind of what got me to start branching out, researching about different mash bills, different flavors. So I wouldn't say to be honest, Jody, I haven't looked at that list probably since I sent it back out. I've made a good relationship with, with Don and a lot of his clerks down in Fairview. So I'd actually kind of consider myself kind of like Jay. I'm starting to become kind of a proof for, and if you will, I really do like the higher proof stuff. Get a lot more flavors out of it. That stuff I would not mix at all. It's something that I would just drink neat or on the rocks. If I do mix, which I had one, I guess, last night because John was talking about ginger ale. Actually made a mixed drink with Old Bardstown bottled and bond with some Q ginger beer. So, yeah.
Very well, very well. So this can go very different aspects, but I want to look at it in the perspective of specifically with Billy, because he's a chef and you're always experimenting with different flavors and stuff of that nature. Do you find that you would be more compelled to use a bottled and bond product because of the consistency or the assurance of consistency that would be there based on the bottle and bond label over stuff that you are just going to try and be kind of, I don't want to say willy-nilly, but I'm going to use that term anyhow, willy-nilly with something else because you like that?
Well, for me, what I have a tendency to do is, something that I know that I've had, I will never pass up. So if I see Heaven Hill, Eagle Rare, the Elijah Craig, I will always buy, and I'll buy something else that I haven't had. And if I don't like that something that I never had, I'll tend to use that to marinate or to come up with different flavors. Like you guys noticed lately, I've been having beer with my drink. So today I'm doing the Yingling Black and Tan along with the Heaven Hill. So I'm kind of getting flavors and developing a lot of different stuff in my mind. But when I see something that I know of, especially if I know it's sometimes can be a little hard to come by, I never pass it up. So, if I see it, I take advantage of it. And I kind of set a budget for myself. Okay, if I'm gonna spend $100 today, then that'll be what it is. And most of the time, I don't even get that far, especially with the relationships that I'm developing. Every time I go to the store and I pick something up, it's 15%, 20% off, or here, try this. But I always go with the stuff that I know I like. That's always something good to have in the bar. To me, I think it just makes sense. But I really do like the bottle and bond stuff because of the consistency. But I think that's more of something that I'm keeping for myself. I killed a bottle of Long Branch yesterday doing my pro tip for the pork bellies. So, I'm sure that pork bellies is going to be delicious. I'm going to do pork bellies burnt ends this weekend.
Oh man.
Yeah. And it's sitting in that Long Branch, just taking a bath, having a spa day. So I'm sure when I do those burnt ends, it's going to be something amazing.
See, and that could be a great show right there. Is what do you think the animal would want to be at Billy's house or maybe Jody's house as a final product? All right, so I want to ask Mark because I know you're a cigar person and you're constantly taking pictures with cigars and bottles and almost daily. I don't know how your liver takes it, or your lungs, but anyway. So
Don't
and you could just
cigars.
Yeah, well, that's true. You don't. That's absolutely factual. However, I do know some people who do inhale them. They told me so when I said, "Well, the good thing is you're not inhaling." They're like, "Oh, I absolutely inhale it." And they talk just like that, and she was really nice. But anyway, but the I want to know, is there like when you go to we'll just say like a cigar pub, if there is a such, where they have whiskey and that. Do you find that you can taste, because of the consistency of a bottle and bond, that you can maybe taste a cigar that might be new to you, or something that you're wanting to have, like that's the main course, and you're using the bottle and bond as kind of like a sipper to it, that would be more palatable versus having something that was higher proof that might I guess invade that space, if that makes any sense?
That's actually a great question. I have not discovered that. And I use the word discover because I'm very much prone to matching the cigar with what I'm drinking. So as an example, I love Stag Junior. Stag Junior is 130 proof. So I can go with a heavy full proof, a full bodied cigar. Example, like the CAO 660. Those bad boys, they'll put a hole in your chest. Even if you don't inhale, they'll put a hole in your chest. So if I'm smoking that 130 doesn't hit as hard to me. Whereas if I'm sipping Blanton's or something with a, say 92 or 100 proof, I might not go as strong or not as high a proof with the bourbon. So that's actually a great question. I'm gonna have to try that. I have not specifically done that. I will soon though. Stand
Hey,
by.
hey, and Mark, if you ever get a chance, have Stag Junior with a Padron 7000. It will change your life.
I don't know if I've done a 7,000, but I've done a 1964s. Oh, and I love it.
7,000 is quite a bit heavier.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
With that Stags Junior,
I don't know if I've done those two before. I'll try and I'll do it specifically or purposefully and try it and let you know.
and a lot of people like take notes on when they're having bourbon or whiskey, where they had it, this, that, and the other. So what I tend to do with my cigar labels is I will actually turn the cigar label over, as small as it is, in my best possible handwriting, which is not all that. I will write the time, the date, and where I was, and give it a score along with what I was drinking. So that's how I make my notes as well.
All right.
And it's funny because someday somebody's going to go through my cigar labels and be like, Jesus Christ, he was everywhere.
And this was just this week.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I can tell you a cigar label that I came across was when I was in Tennessee, when I was up on Mount Eagle.
Okay.
Taking in the view. And let me tell you, if anybody's never driven down Mount Eagle, it wants you to drive off the side, which is straight down.
Yeah, it's a grade of 7, I believe it is. It's pretty steep for like definitely trucks.
Yeah, and I've had the pleasure of driving an 18-wheeler up and down Mount Eagle. So, yeah.
Wow, I would not like.
I know that. I wouldn't dare drive a truck on.
So I was thinking, because I have. Obviously, I watch a lot of YouTube videos and stuff like that on different spirits and different ideas and seeing different bottle and bond history and stuff like that. But I think we covered a totally different aspect of it. We looked at different perspectives all the way around, and hopefully we're giving our viewers something that they will look at and go, okay, well, I may not agree with Jody or John or whomever, but I can totally see Billy's perspective or Jay's perspective or whatever it might be, or vice versa. And I think when you look at it, the history that's behind it is actually what came to fruition of why we have everything we have today. I mean, can you only imagine if what you were drinking, whether it was Heaven's Hill or Evan Williams or George Dickel or whatever it might have been, and it wasn't bottled in bond, and you took yourself back in history and it had tobacco juice or something like that in it.
Cocaine infused tobacco.
Or turpentine.
Coca-Cola, man. Come on. I would have loved to have Coca-Cola these days.
Yeah.
But can you imagine, like, for real though, they put a lot of turpentine in some of these. And there at no point does it say on any label of turpentine, safe for consumption.
Right.
All right. Like even back in the day, it didn't say, hey, might grow hair on your chest. Didn't say that. It said it had the little sign where it says, don't drink, you die. All right. So the reason why we have the ability to have these different things that we like, the higher proofs and stuff like that, is because of the creation of the bottle and bond. And so I think it's important of having the history aspect of it. And I think that we covered that tonight. I think we covered that well. And I think we hit all the definitely the consistent points about why it's important. Now, if it's not, I will be honest with you, as much as I love Heaven Hill or 1792 bottle and bond, or definitely Colonel Taylor bottle and bond. Yeah, and I don't know if you can beat Old Tub anywhere. I mean, what is that? $29? I think you probably paid for that.
It's like anywhere from $19.99 to $22.99.
Yeah, it's not very expensive.
PA all day long.
I still have a bottle downstairs. I forgot about it. I looked right past it too, but that is a fantastic bottle and bond. And what would be even better is if you can get the old bottle. This is a short bottle. It's kind of squared off a little bit. That's Old Tub back before they changed it. I will tell you this to our viewers and to maybe Jay or anybody that's out there that might be able to get their hands on it. I have never had Woodford's Bottled and Bond ever in my life. And just came across it recently via reading the the different bourbon pages and stuff of that nature. And I was like, why have I never tried this? Why did I even know it?
It only comes in a pint size.
Yeah. It's smaller size. Yeah.
Yeah, and it only comes like in the fall, and it's usually like one of their releases, like with
the mastered stills.
Yeah, and like the 4-grain mash bill. It's part of that collection that they send out. But
you had it.
No, I haven't had it. I've actually tried to find it. It was one of the ones I first started trying to find. But somebody said you'd have to go to Kentucky to get it. And Kentucky's close, but it's just far enough where I'm gonna drive up there.
Yeah.
We do need to take a road trip on that. And then finally, though she's not on here anymore tonight, to answer Annie and Josh's question, her husband, which was great that he joined the show as well, is, are we planning on doing something where we all meet up? The answer is yes, we are. As soon as I'm hoping that we can have like maybe a tasting at my house with the people that live in Tennessee, maybe the first weekend in February. I have to look at my schedule and I'll let you guys know. And then we will still record that session. And then the other, and it'll be mostly not us sitting around like this. We may just record bits and pieces. I may walk around, but we will have the Zoom recorded, and I'll take bites out of it and we'll put it all into like a little, we'll call it a mash bill into a recording for the viewers to watch. But the idea is to continue building this community, because the reason why we started this was because of COVID and having the ability to still be able to communicate, get to know each other, network, and find ways to connect outside of wearing a mask everywhere we go and trying to drink bourbon at the same time. So guys, as always, been fun. Truly appreciate it. Billy, your website is cafe305barbecuesauce.com or bbq.com is your website. Then you have Be Good to Yourself, Cafe 305, the Whiskey Rebellion, and guys, all of you, good night, and
gentlemen, be good
cheers.
to yourselves.
Cheers all.